D-Wave founder Geordie Rose, a pioneer in quantum computing, discusses at a tech summit in Vancouver summoning ancient ones like the H.P. Lovecraft beings that he brings to life, as well as demons, beings beyond demons, beings that we would look at like a highly advanced, superior intelligence alien species. Well, he also discusses how if we're not careful, this rising tsunami is going to wipe us all out. And then he says, well, the Mandela effect, there's all this stuff on the web about how the Mandela effect was created by the quantum cube of the abyss. I can't figure that one out. He did a lot of tongue-in-cheek, and it was fun to watch him discuss his passions because I was certainly able to get into, at least get a glimpse of his mind and why he feels it's important to have quantum computers and real artificial intelligence. And one of the questions that was asked towards the end about what are you going to do to make sure this reality doesn't turn into a Terminator-style reality, he discussed more about his vision than keeping it from turning into a Skynet Terminator system, in my opinion. Now, with that said, if you've read, I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to read any H.P. Lovecraft books, but there are these beings that whether he channels these things or just complete imagination, it reminds me of a lot of the technologies that we're seeing today. And I need to pronounce this word properly. So here, listen to this. The Cthulhu. The Cthulhu is how you would describe this being. This one specifically has these tentacles like an octopus, and it makes me think of Hydra. And also there are many connections of Hydra with this specific deity. And I think of the Sumerian gods and the battles of Enki and Enlil when you read the underlying themes of many of these H.P. Lovecraft novels. Is it more nonfiction than fiction? Fascinating indeed. And I want to give a huge shout out to Trade Genius Academy. Right now, they are offering a 50% discount for incredible courses. If you want to get trade alerts, if you want to become a trade expert, like a Jedi trade genius, literally, check out Trade Genius Academy. Support our sponsors. In return, support yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, Trade Genius Academy, excellent opportunity. I mean, there has been more fluctuation in the stock and crypto markets the past couple of weeks than there has been in quite a long time. I mean, sometimes it can take an entire year of activity to get the same type of movement that we've seen just over the past couple of weeks. So no matter what direction the market's going, if you want to get in when you fit in and get out at the best time, check out Trade Genius Academy. Let them know Leak Project sent you. All right. Now, I want to share with you some notes that I took after listening to this incredible interview. And once again, a few things that he says, they're not demons, they're not evil, they're more like the great old ones. And they're not going to necessarily be aligned with what we want. So let's discuss that for a minute. Let's say that you discover this ant farm, this miniature ant farm in your house. Like overnight, an ant farm springs in the corner of your house. Do you care enough about those ants to individually pick them up, put them on some type of tray or some type of container, and move all of them to a location that would be considered safe? Would you just wipe them out? And if so, how would you do it? Would you spray them with chemicals, with carcinogenic chemicals, or would you smash them? Would you just scoop them out? What would you do? Now imagine a being that gets summoned to existence, whether it's technology, whether it's a Ouija board, whether it's a chant, whether it just decides to wake up and go explore. And it sees us with a bird's eye view like we would see this small ant hill in our house. And it's like, oh, this is my house now. These things are tiny. they are inferior to me, I'm going to clean it up. What if something's sleeping and it gets woken up by some type of AI transference, some type of quantum computer technology, not even quantum computer technology. Let's just say some type of algorithm gets shot out into the world or into the universe, and it wakes or activates some type of demigod, some type of master, demon, daemon, some type of entity that, once again, isn't necessarily evil or good. It just looks at us as ants in an ant farm that's in its house, and it wants to clean house. It might not be aligned with what we're looking for. Imagine software that can literally do anything you can do, but better. Anything. He discusses how artificial intelligence, real artificial intelligence, can do anything you can do. Anything. Now, imagine a system that could do anything you can do and 100 times better, then 1,000 times better. Efficiently, your job, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a surgeon, whether you're a writer, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a teacher, whether you are a factory worker, whether you're a restaurant worker, whether you're a chef, whether you're a comedian, whether you're a writer. If I already said that, I apologize. Maybe you are a newscaster. Anything you can do, it can do better. Remember that song? Anything you can do, I can do better. Well, literally, imagine the best in the world that is 10 times better than anyone else in the world. These AI systems will be able to do what he can do 10 times better at first. And then when it starts to learn for itself and learn how to take things that have happened to it in the past and previous experiences of others and learn from that, then we're in even bigger trouble. These things are going to learn how to adapt and truly learn beyond our wildest wet dreams. Most of us. Hello. Nanu, 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 nanu. He discusses AI software can literally do anything a human can do, the best human at any task and better. Now, Kindred is Mr. Rose's new passion, or at least it was during this interview. And this Kindred system is building AI programs and machines that are better than humans at everything. Think about that for a minute. And then let's go back to these Sumerian tablets. Enuma Elish, Enki and Ninhursag, the creation of man, to do the work for the gods, the lesser gods and the higher gods, because they were complaining that they were working too hard. And then humans are created, and if you believe the Gnostic versions, and even a lot of the Sumerian tablets and other texts and scriptures around the world, a lot of this stuff has been mistranslated and dulled down. A lot of information has been taken out and mixed and skewed to fit certain agendas. But once Adam was created, they're like, uh-oh, look what we did. The Gnostics, the secret book of John, describes how Adam was created greater than his creators, and it freaked him out. Well, look what we're doing now, folks. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We're doing the same thing that was described thousands of years ago in these stories. Now, if you follow the Sumerian king list, you can take that back almost 300,000 years. I've also shared with you other lists of data that describe timelines that aren't in the Sumerian king list that would add even additional years to that. You could get into the 400,000, 500,000 year range. What about these ancient ones? How old are they? Do they go back before the creation of Earth? Are we going to be tapping into entities and energies that are literally pre-Earth creation? And if so, then what? What happens when we summon some type of entity, some type of Lovecraft-style cosmic energy system that decides to use us as batteries like we use batteries to power our appliances and electronics and goods? Matrix 2.0. Was Matrix a warning? Was Matrix a warning? Now, imagine this. Imagine every single job that's available today, complete and utter transformative changes based upon these systems that are created to do your job or anybody else's job in the world. Imagine a company. So let's say you make $100,000 a year. Let's say you make $200,000 a year. Let's say you make $1 million a year. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. Let's say you make $20,000 a year. Let's say you make $10 million a year. Now imagine a company that can create you, maps your brain, puts it in a package, and offers that program, and then advancements. Even so, not only does it have the best of you, but then it combines the best of the AI system together, packages that, and sells it to a business for half of what they pay you per year. And it can be twice as effective. So now every job on the planet will be offered at an affordable price of XXX. Hello. Y, Z, whatever. So 50,000 a year. Now they've got an opportunity to pick up your slack and do everything you can do better for half the price and have no controversy, no complaining, no calling off sick, no problems. And then what do? So everybody's job gets sold. One company's selling everybody's job via AI algorithms and software. And then everybody's got a 3D printer now where they can actually 3D print a computer system that uses quantum computer type, D-Wave type technologies. And for the hard drive, because it's storing so much data, so much memory, it's using synthetic DNA. Now remember, I shared with you they can store over 215 million gigabytes. It's 215 trillion bytes. It's beyond that. It's, okay, what is it? 215 million gigabytes of information, 1 gram of DNA. And just 6 years ago, they were only able to store a fraction of that. So if everybody loses their job to the machine, now the machine can use them as hardware. So now we're the hardware, it's the software. We're the operating system, it is the boss. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, but different, but advanced. Now also, so we're going back to this company that can take Bob, download his brain into a computer, make it more efficient, tweak it a little bit to make it the best of the best in that field. And they're not even going to need Bob, because they're going to take Bob, they're going to download his brain, they're going to find a way to tweak it to make it even more efficient than Bob, and then Bob's obsolete. So now the new system that is going to be readily available, you're going to be able to purchase people's brains on a chip, and then you can download it onto a digital machine that you can print up at your house. We are literally on the verge right now, the cusp of a complete mind warp. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's going to be like, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Now, you might ask yourself, why would you want to create a system that is superior in every way, shape, or form to a human being and then upload it to the web or offer it as a solution to a problem? What are the problems then? What are the applications? I mean, literally, think about this. What if you could take 7.5 billion people's minds, upload it on a computer, have a system that's faster, more efficient, and better than they are, and half the price? Then what happens to human beings? What happens to us? Rich Sutton, a famous AI developer, discusses how this could happen in the next 13 years. Within the next 13 years. And this was back in 2014 during this Vancouver summit. So 4 years ago. So that means we've got 9 years, within 9 years, which would make it what? The year 2027, right around that year 2030, right around the year Ray Kurzweil discusses the singularity, 2030 to 2035. Right around the time that, according to people that I've had on the show that have independent equipment testing the ozone layer, different parts of the ozone, and others have said within the next 7 to 10 years, we might not even be able to grow crops outside. Then watch Blade Runner 2045. And how many times has a movie or a TV series, even cartoons, predict events that can happen in the future? Are we looking at a Blade Runner 2049 future society system with replicants, with a geoengineered atmosphere? You can't even see the stars. You can't even see anything outside of this cosmic, or I shouldn't say this transhumanistic slop, aluminum tricalcium, or what is it, aluminum phosphate and other nasties they're spraying out there. Maybe not aluminum phosphate. I think they were doing testing with that at one point, but not in mass levels. So let's say that we get into a point within the next 10 years that robots rule the world. Then what are we going to do? What are they going to do? Are we going to be... Are we going to be around in 10 years? Are we going to be in some type of system? Now let's go back to the Matrix for a minute. Remember in the Matrix where at least the machines have compassion on human beings? They're like, okay, yes, we are sucking your energy and your blood and your life while you're in some like little vat. But at least you're in a hologram where you think you're living in a real reality. You think everything's real. Meanwhile, the machines are sucking you alive. And not in a good way. Okay, I'm sorry I just said that, but you get the point. Hello! It's disturbing because if you use the quantum computer, or not, I'm sorry, if you get into the holographic universe theory, you look at something underneath a microscope, it's not solid, it's hollow. You can't, I mean, and you got these things coming in and out of existence. Pew, 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 pew. Quantum code, binary code, DNA breaking down to dual binary code, zeros and ones. A lot of people, very intelligent people, speculate we're in a computer simulation right now and something happened in the past, so we're living through this computer simulation. What if that means that the machine took us over and the simulation that we're in is a simulation of the machines? Did you hear that noise just turn on? I know it was just the fan outside, but right when I said machines, it went, sounded like a, fax machine or something. They were just trying to fax me. Not going to happen. I will not assimilate. So now we're in a system where it's like showing us, we're waking up to the machine, to the simulation that we're in. We're in a simulation within 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 a simulation. How many times have we been put in a simulation and a simulation and a simulation? You want to become a premium member at leakproject.com because you're in a simulation. Okay. Well, maybe not because you're in a simulation, but because it's awesome. Check out leakproject.com today. Also subscribe, youtube.com/clandestine time lord. Now, this is something else that is discussed. Creating aliens. Imagine receiving a message from the heavens, from space, saying, in 13 years we are going to your planet. You have got to be ready or you will be assimilated. What if that happened? Literally. Imagine, okay, now 9 years. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there is no heaven. Imagine there is no hell. Okay, I'm just going into the song Imagine. It was a joke. But let's think for a minute that we get a signal. That sounds kind of boring, right? No heaven, no hell, only living for today. That sucks. I want to live for today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and infinite. days and nights, infinity. Yet, let's go back to this. So we get this signal saying aliens are going to land in 9 years and we are superior to you in every way. We can assimilate you. What are you going to do about it? That's basically what Rich said. With these AI systems that we're creating, it's like we're creating an alien species. So now I'm thinking of the Sumerian tablets again. Maybe they weren't aliens. Maybe they were us, our ancestors, that wanted to create other humans to do the work for them, but wanted to create them in a slave species class. They had the technology to do it. They did it, and they're like, oops, look what we did. They're way better than we want them to be, so we need to dumb them down. Or we need to pull the plug. What happened with the Great Flood? Oh, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. If you read the Holy Bible, it describes how they were all evil and wicked and doing nasty stuff and giants and monsters and all sorts of nasty stuff going on. So what did they have to do? They had to make a great flood and wipe everybody out. But Enki said, no, man, we got to save a few of them. So Noah builds the flood. Not builds the flood. Builds the ark to protect himself from the flood. Well, now, how many times recently have there been articles coming out saying, oh, this new AI bot starts communicating with another AI bot clandestinely, so the developers had to pull the plug. Well, it's like the flood. Well, there's the flood for those things. But they're in a computer, and they're in this machine, Tron style, yet our medium is right here. We have 6 senses that we're able to grasp onto if we're lucky. A lot of people can't even tap onto that 6th sense. They're just going 1 through 5. So we create this super intelligent system, and it's just like aliens. They're not going to be like us. These things that are being built right now are not going to be like people. They're going to be really smart and smarter than every person in the room that was in this meeting with Mr. Rose, the Vancouver Summit, and probably smarter than everybody listening to this podcast, unfortunately. Now, with that said, if we could tap into our subconscious mind, if we could use 100% of our brain, then we could blow the doors and blow the circuits out of any AI system, out of any computer or technology. And whatever created us knows this, and it's this round table. I think some of them want us to have our full potential, and some of them are saying no. Keep them suppressed, keep them down. If we could tap 100% of our mind, 100% of our DNA, and activate our light receptors, all of our chakras aligned, we could do whatever we want. I have had experiences before where I was able to tap into the Akashic Records, be anywhere at any time, download anything at any time, and then things started to get weird, and I had to get out of there. My point is, we have these opportunities, we have these abilities, but because of constant suppression, education that's designed to dumb you down and imprison your mind, foods and medicines and industries that are designed to keep you down and to keep you suppressed as a good slave. We break out of this, we can learn for ourselves. We can become as great, if not greater, than these systems that we are creating right now. The problem is, whatever created us doesn't want us to have this, and now we're creating something that's greater than us, that's greater than them. This is the kind of stuff that we could be tapping into these deities. Hold on a second. These clawloos. H.P. Lovecraft style. Look at that thing that's got these tentacles coming out of its face and these descriptions of the air gods battling the water gods. I'm thinking of Enki and Enlil. Enlil is the god of air. And I was on the beach today, Port Aransas. It's cleaned up nicely. And all sorts of air and wind. And I'm thinking, thank you, Enlil. What do we know about you that isn't real? What do we know about you that has been skewed and manipulated? If Enlil is the god of air, Well, think about it. We need air to breathe, at least in this physical body, so that's very kind of that opportunity to be able to breathe and to have this experience, this multitude of experiences. Because these experiences that we have not only feed the system that we're in, feed ourselves and our surroundings, and then we can obtain higher levels of knowledge and advancement because of it. Internal wisdom, external knowledge. Internal wisdom, external knowledge. So then, remember when Elon Musk comes out, MIT 2014, describing how these creations, you need to be careful. He says, when you do this, beware. With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, sure, we can control the demon, and it doesn't work out. Sam Harrison, nobody's paying attention. Think about it. Nobody's paying attention. You want to hear something bizarre? Go to the beach today, Port Aransas. Driving for quite a while on the beach. Like to have my space. One of the things I love about Port Aransas is most of the times you can have a lot of beach to yourself. I mean, you can literally drive on the beach, set up some lawn chairs. People had tents out there, all sorts of stuff out there. Christmas time, you'll see people out there with Christmas trees. But I'm out there on the beach, just enjoying myself. And why did I bring this up? I can't remember why I brought that up. I'll have to go back. There were a couple chemtrails. I'm looking at the blue skies, and I see these long streaks, these long white streaks of stratospheric aerosol injections that dissipate into these long clouds that look like long cylinder clouds. That was kind of bizarre. Okay, so Elon Musk. And then the description of how they are building these AI systems that could become like these cosmosism. Lovecraft, cosmosism. These are the notes that I took. And they might have a cosmic indifference. We summon these deities. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of Enlil and the air and being on the beach and how nice it was to be able to just breathe fresh air. But Port Aransas is cleaned up nicely. It's looking good out there. So I like how you can just go right onto the beach and just chill and relax. Go to Virginia Beach. And you got to park down the street just to get onto the beach. And then you're surrounded by a million other people. And it's like, man, I'm getting all this sheep crap on me. How do I get it off? So one of the nice things about Texas, the beaches out here in Texas are nice. Now, if you go to places in North Texas where you've got fracking sites all over and it smells like you know what, well, that's a different story. But Texas still does have some beauty. You should check out the beaches in Texas and Port Aransas, nice area. Really like the beaches out there. But then, let me share with you some more stuff that was described here. This was in the video. These things that we are summoning right now are more like that of a Lovecraftian old one, like the old ones from Lovecraft, that aren't going to necessarily be aligned with what we want, and this transition is extremely important. If we're not careful, it's going to wipe us all out. Oh yeah, and we are hiring people looking to make this happen. Ha 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 ha. So tongue-in-cheek. He describes what could happen, and then he says, oh yeah, by the way, we're hiring to make this happen. Now, I think they're hiring, and what they really want, he was joking when he said that, what they really want is they want to find people to develop these AI systems that will have compassion, that will not turn us into human batteries, that will maybe help us obtain a level of enlightenment that we don't have right now. I feel that he's really looking for ways to change the world and the universe, make it a better place, not create these systems for destruction. He's looking at the mind and tapping into the mind and the harnessing of the mind and where it comes from as being a solution to anything. Better than space travel, because it's something that can solve any problem at any time, at any location. And so he's saying, hey, look, right now we're in a position where there's companies out there that are doing this same thing, and we can either be the ones that are coming up with software and programs and developments to make this system achievable in a kind fashion, in a better fashion, or there could be a possibility that someone else might develop it and make it really, really nasty. Make it really, really bad. Now, what happens when machines can learn from previous experiences and get true intelligence? He describes how humans don't have this opportunity. We can get knowledge, but we don't get smarter. He's describing how these machines can actually get smarter. Now, that is where it gets spooky. Imagine something that has an IQ of 100, the next day it has an IQ of 200, kind of like Lawnmower Man. Remember Lawnmower Man? That guy wasn't very bright. He was mowing lawns. He didn't even have an IQ of 100. Then he starts messing around with VR stuff, and he becomes just extremely intelligent. Then he finds out how to absorb himself into the machine. Then he finds out how to break out of the machine and get into the webs when they try and shut him down. So imagine when machines are able to act on their own self-interest, can take action to make their own processes better. So they're making themselves better, more efficient. They take control from the tools they're built with and create better versions of themselves. Literally faster, smaller, smarter, more capable. Then you've got these nano machines that are literally rewriting the cellular makeup of life. It's like these little nanobots. You throw them into some sewer water, and they make a rocket ship just by taking that mass and reconstructing it at the molecular level. And he describes how when machines learn on self-interest and can improve themselves and make their processes better based upon their own tools, then he describes an intelligence explosion. And one of the questions that was asked towards the end, great question, he goes, what is your goal to make the world not a Terminator type world? And then he talks about, he basically said, now this is my opinion here, folks, but he talked about how he saw 20 years ago there's no quantum computer, so he wanted to make one. So he's saying, if you see a problem, solve it yourself. If there's something out there that's not available and you want to see it, make it. Do it yourself, because if you do it, then you know what you're creating. And he was very passionate about that. So he also said there's going to be people that are going to be offered lots of money to create AI systems, but they're not going to achieve his goal of tapping into the mind, tapping into the source where our mind comes from. So, he's saying watch out for these carrots at the end of the stick where you can make a lot of money, but you're not really going to be solving problems of the bigger picture, just little bits and pieces of it. So I like that. He's literally looking for ways to tap into mind. You tap into mind where we learn these incredible things. And then what else is there? I mean, you can do anything, right? In a sense, if you look at it in that perspective, almost. So AI, and then another question that was asked towards the end, AI and emotional intelligence, is that possible? Artificial intelligence having emotional capabilities. And he says, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think now, knowing that the founder of D-Wave said, we are summoning the old ones, or something like summoning the old ones? Watch this video, it'll blow your mind. We are creating these beings that are far superior to us, that might not have our best interests at heart, and we're hiring. Are you looking for a job? So, that makes me think of the most recent X-Files episode that I saw, where the machine is learning from people. We need to be careful what we teach the machine, because it's learning from us. So be excellent to each other and be the change you can see. What else is there? I mean, that's a couple of awesome opportunities and solutions that I can think of, because if we can merge with this machine or find a way to use, if we can learn from it, then we can reach levels that are far beyond what we have right now. And how awesome is that? Also, once again, check out Trade Genius Academy. Get the discounts, get the specials. Become a crypto trade Jedi. Also, you can become a Jedi in the stock market, regardless of where the market's going. And for the monies to get involved, to learn the system, and then to get these trade calls from experts, It's an awesome opportunity. Take advantage of it. Be excellent to each other. Be the change you want to see. Go to leakproject.com. Become a premium member today. Also subscribe. YouTube.com/clandestine Time Lord. Get access to live shows and the latest podcasts. Will not assimilate. I choose freedom. Hugh